Welcome to Three Girls, One Track, your go-to podcast for listening to two sisters and their cousin try and get into Formula One. We're here to break down the ins and outs of what happens on the track and especially what happens off of it. Listen in weekly to get your fill of F1 gossip, race outcomes, and which Lewis Hamilton Fashion Week outfit we thought was the hottest.
Let's get into it today. It's been a very late night weekend for those of us that stayed up to watch.
Hello.
So we can jump right in. We generally cover fashion right off the bat. And we normally do our least fave and our fave. But I fear not many people were eating this week. Not many eatings, lots of team merch this week. So maybe let's just each give our own little small blurb about what looks we saw this week. Because I don't think we have enough material to have a favorite and least favorite.
Well, I'll start off, if that's okay with you. Okay.
Sure.
Joe on you on race day on Sunday. He had like this brown...
all black.
Huh?
Oh no.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the all black look he had.
Is it black or is it brown? It looked brown to me with like the sneakers with the yellow laces.
I don't see that.
Anyway, I think it's brown. It looks brown to me, but it looked really cute on him. I haven't really seen a good picture of it, so the picture I've seen it from what I've seen though, I like it.
Brown.
Okay, cool. It's brown.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of like a kimono type-esque shirt situation with some pants. It looks good, and so far it's only, he's pretty much the only one that I saw this week that I think is worth making note of.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. And I also think, actually, Yuki had like this...
I like Yuki's cardigan.
Yeah, his cardigan's what I really liked. I was like, I could take that.
Yeah. I'm going to give a little shout out. I know people don't want me to, but to Lance Stroll. I think it was unoriginal, but I think that it was simple and good enough. He didn't show up in a team merch. He wore the tan suit that he knows looks good, paired it with a white shirt, kept it pushing, walked in. I think we could do more with the hair, but hey. I think compared to a lot of what we got this week, it was enough for me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I could have sworn he's worn something very similar to that.
He wore something very similar in Japan.
I think I actually gave him Project One Way a couple of weeks ago when he did wear it.
Mm-hmm. He wore something very similar.
Really?
In Japan.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't really think anybody ate, if we're being honest, except the usual Lewis. But yeah, I can say that Stroll and Joe Guan Yu looked good. Would I give them Project Runway? Probably not. No one earned Project Runway
That's
for me
true.
this week.
Tim Gunn, I think, would be disappointed in all of this week's looks.
I'm not. I don't give it out for like willy nilly.
Yeah, I don't think Tim would have stood for this. So.
Yeah.
Sorry for the lackluster fashion segment this week. It just wasn't eating. Hopefully, Miami will inspire everybody. Hopefully it'll be nice and warm, and they'll be ready to move and shake a little bit.
I need a look from Lewis.
All right. Well, Philly, you got the cocktail of the week.
I do. So this week we are in China. Get out. So this week we are in China for the Chinese GP. And so being there, I figured we would go via way of a lychee martini.
A what?
So a lychee martini.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought you were going to go with it.
Well, okay. So when I was looking for a drink, I kept seeing lychee martinis, and I'll tell you why in a second. But I realized I had never had a lychee martini, and I was like, now's a chance to try. Why not? This is literally why I made us have this segment. So lychees are a tropical, like, tree-growing fruit, And China is actually the main producer of lychee fruit, and like they've been producing lychee since like all the way back in the 11th century, right? And it used to be considered a delicacy in the Chinese imperial court. So like people would bring it as like tribute to the royal court whenever they came. And because of like the shape of it, it's kind of heart-shaped esque. They say that it symbolizes romance and love. So I thought that was very cute. And so it's got like a sweet kind of floral taste. It's got about the texture of an apple, maybe. And so to make a martini, in a cup, you're going to mix 2 ounces of vodka and a half ounce of dry vermouth, an ounce of the juice from the canned lychees. Oh, there they go. And then 1 tablespoon of lime juice, and then you garnish with 2 of the lovely lychees. Most likely get canned lychees because why are you gonna go get real lychees? It's fine. But then you put it all in a glass, put a little ice, you stir, you do not shake, and then voila, a lychee martini. What? No, for this one you stir, you do not shake. You don't shake a martini.
Controversial statement. And it's a vodka martini, even more controversial.
But that's hidden.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
I waited to drink it until we were on. And dang, that's good.
Nice.
Hold on.
Well, it's good to hear. I am alcoholless because I'm so tired after staying up. So sadly, it's a sober pod today, y'all.
Not for me.
Not for Philly. You can hold it down for all of us.
Oh, I will. Don't worry, because this is good.
All right. Well, we do have some F1 news this week. I come to you with 3 pieces of news. The first one, I'm just going to breeze over because we kind of talked about it last time, but not really. So, as we all know, there's connections between Carlos Sainz and the new Audi takeover that's happening with Sauber.
Is that
confirmed? Helmut Marko confirmed that Audi offered Carlos Sainz a 3-year contract.
How is Helmut gonna confirm his contract?
How many years?
Helmut's saying they offered him a 3-year contract.
3? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see how that all ends up playing out. If he actually ends up going to Audi.
Why is Helmut just putting his business out there like that? Like maybe he didn't want to tell anybody.
I need somebody to tell me what the connection with Helmut and the media is, because the second anything happens, Helmut Marko has released a comment on it, and like, does he just keep does he have just a text thread with F1 Insider and he just drops him a little voice note whenever anything happens?
Probably.
It's like, dang, he's always on it.
Maybe not a text thread, but he calls him.
It's crazy, but you know, thanks Helmut for the little scoop, the little tea. And we'll see the implications that has on the driver's market. I'm rooting for him to go to Audi, because then that's
so.
I mean, but how does everyone have so much faith in Audi when they don't even know if this team is any good?
That's a good question.
If the car is any good, I'm just saying, like, have there been any exhibitions or anything like that? Like, where's all this faith? Is it just coming just off the strength of Audi?
The faith is that it can only go up.
Yeah, they are taking over Kick Sauber. It's not looking good with yours.
Oh, true. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I can take that. I'm just saying. I think people are having a lot of faith in Audi, but no one's seen anything yet.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm just saying.
A good point. Thank you for that one. That's real.
Just a thought. I'm not trying to.
I think Audi, the name. I think Audi's. I don't know.
It has a lot of strength behind its name because
also,
it's a good car in
monetarily.
General.
Oh yeah, Audi has the money for the project
because they're bringing money
into the team in a way that I don't know if they currently have. Right now.
Anyone else would.
Well, I don't think anyone else. I'm just saying they currently have right now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, say Kick Sauber didn't want to be taken over. Do you think that they would have let Audi bring an 11th team in?
No, I don't even think it's a matter of ability. We all know with Andretti, it wasn't ability at all. Andretti has the F1 factory up and ready to It's money.
Yeah.
I think that literally the fact that Audi managed to find a way to get into the sport without diluting the prize pot is the only reason everyone is like, that's fine.
Gung
Yeah,
ho
that's
for
the only
them.
reason
Okay.
people aren't like, we don't need an 11th team.
Just curiosities.
Yeah, so I think it's purely they managed to not cost the other team money. All right. Next thing is that F1 is in talks to alter the point system.
I read
Yes,
that.
and make it so that first through 12th place all get points. And it would function almost exactly the same as now, just more points positions. I'm fine with this.
What did you guys? Did anyone see what was the reason for them wanting to change?
They
the point
wanted
system?
to make it so that midfield positions were more competitive, and there was incentive to actually like fight for those like midfield positions.
Valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be fun and cool. I think that'll be
interesting.
Very interesting.
But I'm like, how y'all gonna change the points when I finally just got a hold of the points?
Did you get a hold of the points?
You know what? Don't judge me. I'm working on it. I am trying.
Exactly. So it's an okay change.
So are they going? I don't know. Have they proposed like what potentially the point system could be?
Yes. So essentially,
it's still 25. Like
mm-hmm.
number for first place for P1, it's 25 points. That's not changing.
Yep.
And then it's going to change sort of like where?
It's going to change once you get into like the 6-point range. Okay. So I believe once you get into like 6 or 7.
So it's not going to go 6-4-2?
Yeah, it's not going to go 6-4-2. I believe it's going to go like 6-5-4-3-2-1.
Oh, okay.
I think it's literally just going to like trickle down instead of having like a little bit of a jump.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, so I think that'll be fun. I think it'll be interesting to see like how that changes everything. I wonder if they're gonna also change the sprint points if they end up doing that. So we'll see though. We'll see what ends up happening there. That'll be interesting. And my last piece of F1 news, I don't think anybody should be surprised by this one, is that Toto Wolff is a loser. That is my last piece of F1 news.
Oh my God.
He has been in the media nonstop, yap. I'm so excited to have a new driver after 12 years. The car is this way because Lewis set it up. Blah, 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 blah.
Wait. Okay. Go back. Say that one more time. He said
first, and this is all while Toto was on Sky Germany. Let the record show. Okay, yes. So he was saying,
yes,
that one, he is so excited to finally have a new driver after 12 years. So I say, suck my dick. Secondly, he was saying, the reason why the Lewis's troubles are caused by like his are caused by his own way of setting it up, like blah 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 blah. Which technically, yeah, Lewis helps with the setup. Your car's crap though. Let's not act like there's any setup Lewis could do to make your car like a championship-winning car. Like,
pause. Who did Mercedes pick up?
They haven't picked up. He's just saying, I'm finally glad to get rid of Lewis.
Oh, now it makes it even shadier.
And then he also said, hearing that you'll lose an engineer who will join another team in 12 months' time hurts far more than learning that a driver will leave you next week. So he said that. Wow, what other? Yeah, Lewis led the car in a direction which made it undrivable. And it's like, bro.
But I guess for me, like,
please just stop talking. Like,
no, go ahead.
This amount of bitterness cannot be healthy for him.
No, I was just gonna say for me, I just think it's
Go ahead.
Like, I don't know, just it's beyond like petty at this. I think at this point, like it shows like I don't know, why did he expect
Shut up.
Lewis to stay at Mercedes when Mercedes was not willing to give Lewis anything that he wanted. So is he just supposed to stay beholden to Mercedes because y'all helped him get y'all work together to get those 6 championships? Like, no. Realistically,
Yeah.
he wanted a multi-year contract. You wouldn't give him. He wanted to be he wanted an ambassadorship. You wouldn't give it to him. Like, where I don't understand why, like, Toto seems to be so enraged and just like holding a grudge over the fact that he's leaving. I don't. That's for me. Like, I truly don't understand. I don't understand when bosses have that mentality that you're supposed to just stay, even though you're not getting any you want, but you're just supposed to stay and work.
I don't know. Well, he feels that he's owed this loyalty from Lewis because he won all of his whatnots there, but like not all of them, but most of his championships with them, I think, right? Only one he didn't win with them, right? But like he can't go down in a full on just blaze of glory with y'all.
It's just ridiculous. Like, it's just a level of like you're making every misstep one can possibly make, and I think that's literally insane.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and I think that's his other part. Like, it's so like you're, and also like I missed out like the biggest part. The car sucks.
Well,
the car sucks.
And he been said the car sucked.
Mm-hmm.
He said the car sucked a while ago. So why you can't get mad at him when he's been saying the car sucked, and then he has the opportunity to go drive a better car.
Yeah. Anyway, I bring all that up just to say that Toto's lame.
Toto just needs help.
He is. An overgrown toddler. But go ahead.
Next. All right. So this weekend we had the Chinese Grand Prix held in Shanghai. Some stats about the track. It was first hosting the Chinese Grand Prix in 2004. Has a length of 5.4 kilometers, 56 laps, so it's about over like 300-ish kilometers. The lap record was set back in 2004 by Michael Schumacher, a minute 32. And they actually haven't raced here since pre-COVID, so this is our first year back. So we have quite a few drivers who have never raced at the Chinese Grand Prix. Is also Zhou Guanyu's home race. Super exciting. I believe he's the first Chinese F1 driver. So very big deal for everybody involved. Super happy for Zhou. And yeah, I think that's going to be... I'm excited to see him keep coming back. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
I've also heard that this is technically the cheapest Grand Prix to attend, at least ticket-wise. Really? Yeah, like on average, the Chinese Grand Prix tickets are the cheapest.
And the people came decked out. We saw lots of very excited fans. Team LH China was there. We loved that. The Lek Fosi were there.
I saw Yao Ming. I saw Yao Ming there.
Yeah. Yep. The people were hype. So I love it. A little special tidbit before we get into what went down in actual car stuff. We had a very special commentator, my favorite commentator, in the commentator box this weekend, Nico Rosberg. My chaotic king. I love him. He is amazing.
Not your chaotic king.
He is amazing. He is wonderful.
Chaotic is one word to describe him. But actually, I actually didn't mind him. He was pretty good.
Here's the reasons why I love Nico Rosberg as a commentator. One, he's actually driven an F1 car to high level. Like, the only drivers I need in the commentator box are actual F1 drivers. Like, I don't want F1 drivers that did, like, a successful season. I don't want F1 drivers that, like, were there for 5 seasons but were mid. I want Jensen Button. I want Nico Rosberg. I want Mark Webber. I want people who actually have something to show for it. Okay? Like, I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing, like, so what was it like in the car when you were a driver? And then it's like somebody who putted around the track for a year and a half. No. I want Nico Rosberg in there telling us the tea of how to actually drive the car. Nico was actually giving insights into what Lewis needed to do to keep Max behind. He was actually pointing out why things were happening instead of just like, he missed the apex. Like, yeah, We know. We can see that with our own two eyes. I don't need you to tell me that. So I love that he can get into the nitty gritty. Also, if I'm ever in a defending Lewis Hamilton competition, and my competition's Nico Rosberg, I'm walking out the door. The only person in that commentator box who has Lewis's back 100% is Nico Rosberg. Okay? Nico's hooping, hollering, cheering for Lewis in the commentator box, making sure that people know that Lewis is like the baddest bitch ever. He's in there defending Charles. Like, Nico is on top of what the girlies want to hear, and I love that about him.
Are they supposed to do that in the
I don't
commentator
care.
box? Like, you know how sometimes you're supposed to remain neutral?
Remain neutral.
No.
They're in there. They're in there fucking dick riding anything that comes out of the British Isles. Okay? Neutral.
It was just a question, y'all. Just a question.
Yeah. Until the day I can see them blatantly call out a British driver for being absolute dog shit, I don't need neutral. I don't need neutral in that commentary box. Okay? How many times do I have to hear wet weather expert Lando Norris on pole? Lando Norris might win. He was never gonna win.
Not wet weather.
He was never gonna win, and he's not a wet weather expert. Why are we lying to ourselves like this? Please. Sometimes people are just racing drivers. I mean, they're just British, and we don't need to do all this just because they're British. Anyway, my favorite Monaco-based YouTuber, Nico Rosberg, was fantastic. In the commentator box, I loved every second of him being there. He is number one called LH, and I love him for that. I love him for that.
Okay.
Laymen don't know that Nico Rosberg is a number one Lewis Hamilton fan, but the rest of us know.
Well,
anybody who listens to that man in the commentator box knows that he might beat us out for Lewis Hamilton.
Oh my God.
With the way he carries him.
Probably.
But yeah, sorry, just had to plug. I love when Nico's in the commentator box. He's so funny. Alrighty, so this was a sprint weekend, so we do have two sets of races essentially to talk about. We have.
Can you break down a sprint race?
I can break down a sprint race for you. A sprint race is 1/3 distance of a regular race. So, for example, because this race was 56 laps, 1/3 of 56 laps is about 19 laps. So it's a 19 lap race. There's no pit stop requirement. You don't have to pit stop. And also sprint qualifying has special rules. I believe in sprint qualifying, you have to use specific tires in specific, like, SQ1, SQ2, and SQ3. So, like, for example, in SQ2, unless it's raining, of course. In SQ2, they, like, were all on mediums, and that wasn't because it was, like, the best choice. It was because they had to be. Yep.
Okay.
So I really loved the sprint stuff this weekend. I thought sprint quali being wet was super fun. I thought that it gave us a lot of fun excitement. I do hate wet quali because, once again, I'm tired of hearing the sentence wet weather expert. I think it's an overhyped title. Like, I don't know why we keep calling people wet weather experts. But it's just weird. A lot. But yeah, I think quali was pretty good. Let me actually pull out who qualified where, because I think it was a very fun.
I think sprint qualifying was
really good.
It's a mess, but it was really good.
It was really good. So when we get down to sprint qualifying, obviously it runs essentially the exact same way. SQ1, SQ2, SQ3. In SQ1, we got both the Alpines, both the Williams, and Yuki Tsunoda kicked out. That was so sad when Yuki dropped.
It was.
For Alpine and Williams, that's embarrassing.
And mind you, SQ1 and SQ2 were dry, to be clear.
Yeah.
So that's just
okay. Oh, so only SQ3.
And it was sad. It was very tragic for them. And mostly I'm upset about Tsunoda. Like, no offense to the others, this is expected, but my sweet man Yuki was on high highs and has fallen to low lows this week, which is sad. I know.
Poor
I feel
thing.
bad for him. And then we have SQ2, which got out Russell, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Ricardo, and Stroll. Pretty general SQ2. Still good, still fun, but pretty general. Then we start to get into what really happened. So first and foremost, we have both of the kicks in SQ3. Insanity. Absolute insanity. Zhou making top 10 qualifying in his first quali at his home race. We love to see it. And
I know there's
sorry, what'd you say?
I said, yeah, the crowd was so excited for him. It was
Everybody was very happy at home and there. And then we start to get into some messiness. First, the rain starts coming down. So, of course, it starts to get quite messy out there. Nobody was setting laps like outside of the wet time, so all of the laps are wet laps. And people were not keeping their cars on the track. Max bottled 2 qualifying laps because he could barely keep the car on the track. So it was a scary time to be a Max girly. Lewis had pole for so close to having pole. So close to having pole. And then Lando Norris eventually got pole. So he started the sprint in first place. And Felicia, I don't know if you... Sorry.
I think it's... I was about to say, it's also worth mentioning the 2
fires.
Oh
my gosh, yes! So during practice and during sprint quality, the grass caught on fire. I don't know why.
Wait, it was during practice too? I thought it was just during practice. Quality.
No, it was practice.
Yeah, do we know why the grass caught on fire at this point? I have seen nothing about why.
I was reading it was something... hold on. I did read something on why there was a fire, but it was something that just sparked. But
was it like the sparks like from the back of the cars?
No.
Like when they spark?
No. That was the weird part. Because it wasn't near an area where the cars would have sparked and like.
Oh right, it wasn't near the.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so Lando was starting first. Oh, sorry. For the sprint.
Like they said, it's actually technically still a mystery. They said that there was nothing that was flammable over there in that area, so it's still a question as to why it caught on fire.
Spontaneous combustion.
That's what it honestly looked like when I was watching it. It was crazy.
But that's what it seemed like.
So, as many people who watch F1 might know, because Lando was starting first, it is all but a guarantee that man was not going to end up first. He immediately bottles it. Immediately, within, I believe Lewis overtakes him at turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Lando's complex for bottling from first, and I don't say this in a mean way, I say this in a genuine, I actually think he should do this. I think he needs to go to a psychotherapist. I think he needs to go to somebody who can connect for him why the act of being in first makes him unable to drive.
Terrifying.
Because Lando is a good driver. I don't like him, but he is a good driver. And I think that we need to study why when he's in second, he can drive very, very great. When he's in fifth, he can make up places, drive very great. The second that there is nobody in front of him, it's like all good sense clears from his head. He just can't do it.
There are some athletes that say they actually like playing from behind because it gives them something to There's a goal. When you're playing from ahead,
it pushes them.
You're just trying to maintain it, and that's sometimes where a struggle. So maybe that's where his disconnect is. He needs to be able to have a driver in front of him to have a goal to obtain. Oh, I have to get past this driver. Yeah. Oh, that's who I have to beat. Versus, I don't have to beat anyone. I just got to make sure no one I got to be more defensive. Maybe he likes being more offensive than defensive. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Either way,
a theory.
I need to be studied because it's like clockwork. I know I always say it about George, and with George it also is like clockwork, but it's like a clock that sometimes you have to reset, so sometimes it's not there, Sometimes he manages to break the clock. Lando's never broken the clock.
Wow.
But Lando's never broken the clock. Ever since Sochi, it's all been over for Lando. In the winning posture, anyway. I'm sure Lando will have many, many second places in his future, and it'll be great for him. Also in the sprint, Lewis held that first place for a while. Very proud of him.
He did.
Big claps for Lewis for a second there.
I will say when he came out and he passed Lando, I was like, that's some pretty nice driving.
For a second there, I thought he would win.
He had a nice
and then I remembered where we were.
And who was coming up behind?
And who was coming? Who was in the mirrors?
Yup. Listen, when he told them to be quiet.
I think he's so real.
He said, "I know. Let me do." He said, "What did he say? I know. Let me do what I'm doing. Let me." Yeah. I don't even know, but he was basically like, "Shut up. I know."
I think he's so real because, like, well and truly, once Max is within like 2 seconds of you, shut up. Like, I can see it. I know it's Max. I don't need you telling me. Oh, this is the lap time that Max is doing. I know it's fast. It's fast. It's probably faster than me. I can almost guarantee it. The only thing I need you telling me in my ear is if I'm going faster than Max for the confidence boost. Okay? Yep. Otherwise, I can assume he's going faster than me. And I don't need you in my ear telling me that Max is going faster than me. I know. I'm in a Mercedes and he's in a Red Bull.
And then when Max passed him, and he didn't even and maybe it was for safety reasons, but he didn't even try to not let him by. He just like, all right, go.
It's funny, very, very funny.
Oh my god!
All right. In addition, on the sprint, which I thought the sprint was very, very good. I thought the sprint was better than the race, for the record.
Same.
What the fuck was Sainz doing? What the hell was Sainz doing? Not in the sense that he shouldn't have done it. I'm not going to go as far as to say that Sainz should not have been driving like a maniac. Because, he made it very entertaining end of the race to drive like a maniac with that. And yet, I somehow don't think it's helping your cause to show that you're willing to crash out your teammate over 3 points.
Yep.
I don't know. It seems like, I don't know. I always thought that they were able to I take that back. I was just about to say, I always thought that they were able to compete respectfully, but I also remember, was it something happened last year in Brazil or was it 2022? I forgot. But like, now that I do remember, there is a little bit of friction between Sainz and Leclerc.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the friction comes from, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, the fact that I think that Charles, while he is a killer, he's hungry for it. He is ultimately a company man and a team player. In a way that Carlos is not. And admittedly, I think it could do to be a little bit less of a company man. I think Charles is actually a good amount of a company man.
You think?
I think Charles is a good amount of a company man. Because the thing is, I don't think that Charles is telling the truth half the time when he's being a company man. If I thought that Charles was being 100% serious every single time he said, oh, we've talked it out, oh, we're all good, da-da-da-da. No, he just knows that shit-talking your team in the media is not the way to get what you want.
Well.
And so if I thought he was being 100% genuine every single time that he was like, nothing's wrong, then yeah, I would agree he's too much of a company man. I just don't think that he actually feels that way. Based on many other things that he then does that corroborate that he acknowledges the problems, right? I think that Carlos is a bit too willing to put self before, not in the sense that he shouldn't. I think I would do the same thing. But in the sense that when you are hunting for a seat and you have all of these teams that the likelihood is that he would go to a team that already has an established dynamic and an established driver that they like. Showing that you are willing to kill your teammate over 3 points is not necessarily probably the number one quality you're looking at. For example, I don't think that
that's going to hurt him.
For example, I don't think that Red Bull would want anybody who's willing to crash Max out over 3 points. I don't think they'd want anybody that is willing to crash Max out over anything. So I don't think it's necessarily helpful to show that you are extremely willing to crash your teammate out over absolutely nothing. Like, it's similar to when Max and Checo had that whole thing in Brazil. I don't know if it was last year or maybe it was like 2022.
I think it's the same
I think it
race
was
actually.
2022.
That was like that
Yeah.
one Brazilian
It
GP.
was the one that George won, so I think it was
Yeah.
2022. Like, it does not look good on you as a driver that you are unwilling to compromise over what amounts to nothing. Like, 3 points for an upper team is nothing. 3 points for an upper driver is nothing. Like, you are willing to ruin your car 4 hours before qualifying for 3 points. You're willing to screw over your engineers for 3 points. You're willing to screw over your teammate for 3 points. Like, who cares?
Or maybe he's
Like,
trying to show teams that he's willing. Well, never mind. I'm about to say willing to show that he's, maybe he had a different intention. Maybe he was trying to show that like he is up for the fight, and I just think he just didn't think it through, and it just ended up being a mess for everybody.
Yeah, and it's even worse when commentators are going, "Oh wow, that's dirty driving. I can't believe they didn't investigate that." Like, it's not even your ops who are saying you're a dirty driver. It's commentators who are calling you a dirty driver. Like, it felt unnecessary. It felt like you could have driven Charles without boxing him out of the road, and the result would have likely been the exact same. I think the result would have ended up the exact same if he had just not run Charles off the road.
Probably.
I think it would have gone exactly the same.
Yeah, probably.
That's shameful. That's shameful.
So, I'm not saying that it's bad per se. I'm saying it was stupid.
I think
it just wasn't the best idea.
Yeah. But he did provide a very entertaining end of the race. So I will give him that I was entertained. Which is important.
Yeah, he made it a little spicy.
I was very entertained.
Mix it up a little bit. Yeah. We needed that. We were just saying last week, was it last week or the week before, when it was just like, okay, like things need to be shaken up a little bit. This is his contribution, I guess.
Yes, he gave us a little something for the girls. All right, so we can get into actual quali now, which admittedly I slept through and then had to rewatch because I was kind of sleepy. What the fuck happened to Lewis? I watched qualifying twice. I still don't understand.
No one knows.
I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
It was just like he locked up, and then it was just like. But I've seen drivers lock up and still not go out.
Yeah.
Did it? Who was it that literally locked up and kept going?
Many of them.
I don't know.
He didn't lock up.
It was just.
In the race that was Alonso, but yes.
It was.
Yes.
Just...
But do you know what I mean? Like something that should have taken or could have taken you out, and you just recovered.
I don't know. It just. Did he give up at some point?
I mean, honestly, I don't blame him.
That's kind of what it felt like. It felt like qualifying. He just kind of gave up. He was like, I got.
He said the car felt somehow worse than it always does. So yeah, he was like, whatever setup changes he made, they were horrible. And to that I say, why was anything changed? That car that got y'all almost pole. Why did you touch a single thing on it?
Maybe it did a little too well.
Again, I feel like week in and week out, we sit here, we just like, why Mercedes? Why? And for some reason, they never seem to get it right. We never seem to understand them. I'm talking about we as in the general public.
Do y'all ever think that for Lewis, it's ever intentional?
Like, do I think that Mercedes is sabotaging him?
Not necessarily sabotage, but like they're not putting their best in it.
I feel that way about his pit stops.
Because like you go from qualifying P2 for the sprint, then they decide to change your car. Why would you change
I
it?
don't understand. So drivers have a part in setup changes for like, oh, this feels like this feels like this. I agree that I just don't understand Mercedes' proclivity for constant changes. And maybe it's just that we hear more about theirs because their car is so horrible. But yeah, I just like, I don't know. I think that they still don't get the car. Like, I feel like they still don't understand how to make it good, if that makes sense. And like,
You are capable of making a good car. You've done it before.
yes, I don't know if they're capable of that right now. So I think that could also be the thing. It's just like, of course you're messing up your setup changes. You don't understand your own car. How can you make good decisions if you don't understand the decision making?
That's why Lewis is walking around taking pictures of the whole daggone car.
It's just a mess. Just a mess. But anyway, I thought Quali was relatively boring. Besides Lewis, like,
wait, is Quali where Alonso?
No.
God.
Oh, sorry. Quali's were Signs. Signs did get graveled.
Okay.
In Quali, spun out, broke his front wing, and somehow they fixed the wing and got him back to doing good.
Okay.
So I guess congrats to him.
I will say this weekend, like I'm struggling to remember what happened. Like I remember certain events, sure. I just can't remember where they took place.
It's the middle of the night thing. It throws you
exactly
off
too.
So
yeah.
bad.
I wasn't even watching it in the middle of the night though. It was still kind of like
it's all. I think it's all a blur because it was like so many things were happening, but none of them were like that saucy. Except for what the sprint, to like actually hold the attention because it's like I've been reading a race overview. I've read the race overview a couple times, and bar one or two things in the race overview, it's all a blur. No matter how many times I read this race overview. So hopefully Miami will stick in our brains better, and it'll be closer to home, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
When did Alonso get the flat? Was that during the sprint? Because I know that wasn't during the race.
Wait, when he got that puncture? Was that Alonso?
Never mind.
Oh, Alonso did get a puncture during the sprint. He did get a puncture during the sprint.
Okay,
because then they pit him, despite the fact that you don't have to pit during sprint. And he made up some decent places, but he kind of fell back a little bit. But honestly, yeah, I wasn't really checking for Alonso in the sprint. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just like remembering key things, and I think Miami. I'm actually going to take notes because I just feel like this one. Like I usually take mental notes, but this weekend was just too much. So yeah.
Yeah.
Ow. Sorry, y'all. I'm having a really bad Charlie horse.
Can you stop
it? I'm having a Charlie horse and it hurts.
Oh my god, girl!
And I'm also like kind of rewatching the replay of the race is on right now on ESPN, so I just have it on. Anyway, sorry guys. So now are we back on the sprint or no? I'm not sure.
We're on the race.
We're on the race now. Okay, great.
We're on the race.
Cool. Let's get into the race.
All right. So after quali, Max is on pole. I believe Checo qualified second, and then people are behind them.
The rest of
the rest of the people. So I personally, just to tell a little short story, I set my alarms for the race was supposed to be at 3 a.m. my time. I set my alarms for 2 a.m., 2:30, and 2:50. And I wake up to my 2 a.m. alarm. I turn on F1 TV. I'm watching the pre-show and everything. And when a race is in the middle of the night, I tend to leave the other alarms that I set to make sure that I'm awake. But I'll lay down while I watch the race. I'm not sitting up attentive during the pre-show because I'm like, I cannot do that right now. I'm so sleepy. I forget that because I did not want to disturb other people in my home, I had turned my 2:50 alarm for qualifying the day before to vibrate. Set my phone away from me while I was laying down, and I fell asleep. And I woke up at lap 15. So I missed Oh, I think it was lap 5. I did not see the start. All this to say, I did not see the start. And so I have only seen the start via replays and race overviews. So I say all this to say I did not see it. Apparently it was like pretty okay. You know, Alonso made his little move.
His little what?
He made a little move around the outside of Perez. Also, Twitter's been blowing up about some sort of incident with Charles and Sainz at turn 1. I watched the start and I didn't really.
Charles?
I didn't see
I
anything.
didn't really see anything.
I didn't see
But
anything.
my Twitter's been blowing up with Carlos Sainz slander because, of course, it has. But
Is that really Carlos Sainz,
no.
or that just has your Twitter really been blowing up, or that what your algorithm is showing you because they know you?
Oh, I'm deep in Lech Fosi Twitter. Let the record show. I'm deep in Lech Fosi Twitter, and they do not like Carlos over there. So it doesn't really matter what Carlos does. He's gonna get slandered on my Twitter. But I was seeing people specifically say that he did something at the start, so I was expected to see, Charles get spun, and I didn't see anything.
Was it like a brake check? Like what happened?
Oh, I guess they came close to touching. I think he pushed him a little bit.
Okay.
Which, all
All
right,
right, y'all will be okay.
So obviously I did not see the first couple of laps, but as per usual, Max pulls away. People are overtaking Haas's.
Yeah.
People are beefing for some higher positions. Blah blah blah. Charles is making up good laps. Charles is passing people. We love that. And yeah, it's kind of just keep it on as it goes until the Red Bulls decide to double stack, which I thought was pretty fun. Actually, I love when a team can execute a really good double stack. Yeah,
and they did it nicely too.
Very hot. I love a good double stack.
It's hot.
I think one of my favorite ones is the one they did with Mercedes did with Lewis.
Mercedes
and
did a very good double stack back. I believe it was the Hungary 2018, maybe.
I think so, and it was like literally Valtteri's pulling up and Lewis is taking up. It was like the perfect double stack. But
it was really good.
I think also Mercedes has also done double stack horribly wrong. So.
Oh yeah, they've absolutely screwed it. Because it's who they are. But after that double stack, Norris got a temporary lead, as we all know. That cannot last. Verstappen overtook him on lap 19. All of this, pretty par for the course. Then we start to get fun. We start to get funky. Valtteri Bottas. Car, just bad. Engine goes
he
out.
was having a pretty good weekend.
He was. He's having an okay weekend.
Because when he lost his car, what place was he in?
I don't know. He was doing pretty well though. He's firmly in the midfield, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so.
And what I actually thought was the funniest moment of the race to my sleep deprived self was that Valtteri did not put his car in neutral.
Because they were struggling.
In park. He put it in park.
They were struggling.
Why are they having such a hard time? Because they
were working so hard to try and get it there.
They had multiple people shoving that car, and it was not moving.
So funny. And so I was laughing so hard.
I was wondering what happened because I just stopped paying attention to it after a minute. But I was wondering whatever happened to it. But he never put it in neutral.
So normally when you stop your car, you're apparently supposed to put it in neutral because then that allows them to just roll it really easily. That did not happen. It appears that he put it in park.
Are they not able to put it in neutral themselves? Is that not a thing that they can do?
I think it's to be in the car.
Take the steering wheel off. Yeah, because they take the steering wheel off. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, because that's how they get out, right?
So rip. Either way, it ended up doing a really long safety car, and then Max, did his little slow down thing that he always does before the restart, which I personally love. I always think it's really funny watching Max slow to an almost start and then suddenly, zoom away. But I say all this to say that as the field was bunching up, Lance Stroll decides to pull a Baku 2018 and ram into the back of Daniel Ricciardo.
I was like, what happened?
So they were all super bunched up because of the restart, and they were all in the hairpin. And so what it looked like was like everybody ahead of Daniel slowed down. So then Daniel had to slow down more. Same thing that happens in traffic, right? Daniel has to slow down more. Lance did not slow down appropriately, bangs into the back of Daniel. They've appeared to have beefed in the media a little bit about this, but I think we all agree that,
I know. And he
Lance,
was like,
it's a restart. Go slow.
I think, what was
Like,
it? Daniel, I saw a comment. Daniel was like, because Stroll called him an idiot. And he was like,
mhm.
I don't want to say what I really want to say, but F that guy. I was like, oh gosh, the girls are fighting. Like,
The girls are fighting so much. Oh my god. It was also really funny to see Max's reaction in the cooldown room to this moment because he was guffawing.
I didn't watch the cooldown room.
He was like, because it was clear that he had like not actually seen what happened, and so he just was staring at it, and then he saw Lance like careen into the back of him, and he was jaw dropped, gobsmacked, and then like choking on laughter because he was just like, "What the fuck?" Like,
because what the actual?
Yeah, because like everybody knows that you're in a hairpin. It's during a restart. Slow down. So Ricardo ended up having to retire because of that because he got extensive floor damage. And things got worse for V-Carb, which apparently is what RB wants to be called now.
V-Card?
What is it?
V-Carb.
Oh, I say, ooh,
Visa,
V-Card.
Cash App, Red Bull. They want to be called V-Carb instead of RB.
No.
I don't really...
That's not going to work out. That's not
I mean,
happening.
I don't hate it.
It's not horrible, but whatever.
Yeah.
So things got worse for them
Whatever y'all say.
because Yuki got spun around by Kevin Magnussen. Fuck him.
That was totally
For taking
Magnussen's
a
fault, right? Because
Oh yeah, he got a 10-second penalty.
He got a...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You got a penalty.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. That's perfect right there. So his penalty, he just lost 10 seconds on his end time, right?
Essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. Although you can, if he had pitted, if he had pitted, then he would have like had to serve his 10 seconds there.
Oh, that's when he has to like.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what happened to Logan Sargent, who also had a 10-second penalty. He had to serve his 10-second penalty in the pits because he pitted before the end of the race. Yeah.
Oh.
So, but Magnussen, I think, just had it added on to the end of his. So Yuki was also out of the race. So no points for RB. Rip them. And yeah, I think the only other notable thing from this race, well, not only the notable, but the thing that I think we all care about, is that Lewis, despite starting 18th, very, very bad, he made his way all the way up to, I believe, 9th.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I think it was 8th.
It was
and then Alonso
8th.
passed him. Yeah,
Okay.
and Alonso passed him. So it ended up being 9th. So very happy for him. Love that. Pop off king. Alonso ended up getting the fastest lap. Pop off king for him as well.
He was trying.
He was working at the end of the race.
Mhm.
Alonso's putting in work. So love that for him.
That was when he got into the gravel and still made it out to DRS Hamilton,
which was crazy. So props to him.
That was I've rewatched that a couple of times. I was like, that's actually pretty dope.
Also coming out of this race, Daniel Ricciardo has a grid penalty in Miami, 3-place grid penalty for a safety car infringement. To my understanding, while the safety car was there, he kind of like accidentally passed somebody. So
yeah, how did that happen? Because I didn't quite.
I also did not catch what he did. I'm gonna see if I can find it and see what's up there because I also did not see what happened.
Because I was like, I saw it and I was like, I didn't know. I saw the penalty. First off, I didn't really know what the heck was going on. But second off, I didn't really, I hadn't seen what had taken place, so I was just confused.
Yeah, so he, okay, so during the safety car caused by the Sonoda Magnussen thing, he overtook Hulkenberg Utgenberg. He like straight up overtook Utgenberg. So I think that's what it is.
And you
cannot overtake over safety car. Sorry, under safety car.
Yeah.
Logan Sargent also got a time penalty for overtaking under safety car.
Who did he
Okay, so when Stroll crashed into Daniel, Logan was like on the inside of that part, and I believe he was behind Stroll. And so technically, he was supposed to stay behind him.
They wanted him to crash into
They wanted him
Stroll?
to stay behind him. I don't understand that one either.
That doesn't make sense. He shouldn't have gotten a penalty for that.
I think that's a little bit insane, but I don't even know. Also, I've gotten more on the whole Lance Daniel thing. Ricardo said that Stroll was making his blood boil, although it's one of those headlines where they like put the "making my blood boil" in quotes, so he did not say the sentence "Stroll is making my blood boil." For the record, Aston Martin is out here saying that the penalty was harsh. Piastri, when Lance Stroll said that he crashed because people braked suddenly, said, yeah, but everyone else didn't crash into each other. Daniel Ricciardo was absolutely livid with Stroll post-race. He's saying that's my mistake. I sort of calm down. That pisses me off. To all of that I say, I don't care about Daniel Ricciardo, so, I mean, Lance was wrong for crashing into him, but...
Because what was Lance expecting would happen if he's not slowing down and he sees everyone slowing down and he knows the track, so he knows what's up ahead. So
in Lance's defense, I think he's only driven this track once or twice.
But still, the amount of time that they spend studying with those like simulators and whatnot, you should at least be able to tell that was that the hairpin bit where they were? Okay, yeah, so you should be able to know.
Yeah, I know, but
or at least your people should tell you.
Yeah, that's so true. Also important. So because this is Zhou's first Grand Prix and he's the first ever Chinese Formula One driver, normally when you're on the podium, they have these little spots for you to pull into. They made one for Zhou to pull into because it was his first ever.
It was very emotional for him.
Oh, that's
it's
so
very cute. I love that.
I loved when they would always cheer for him when he came around the what's that called? The clothespin. I wanted to call it the needle point.
But yes, very sweet, very cute. I'm excited to see what Miami will bring us because I love the Miami GP. I know people hated it, but I need them to do the driver intros again. I need LL Cool J out there doing the driver intros again.
The American GPs.
Sorry, the what?
They don't like all
the drivers hated it. But
they hate the driver introduction at the American GPs because they just get like it wastes time. This is too much.
It does waste time. It doesn't. Felicia, have you seen these? All right. Well, for our closing segment, listeners, we're gonna show Felicia the driver intros.
I was gonna say you should actually show her the one in Vegas too. Vegas was.
Yeah. We're gonna show.
I can imagine what Vegas probably is over.
Yeah, actually, okay. I realize that it's probably 8 minutes long, so we're not going to show her on the pod, but we will show her so she would go for Miami next time after the pod. And instead, as our fun, funky closing question, I want to ask: have either of you heard the snippet of JT's new song? Okay.
JT, no. I've seen like.
No.
I've heard. Wait.
No. Okay.
No, I have. I have.
I'm gonna play it for you guys. I'm gonna play it for you guys. I'm gonna play it.
I said, is that what you played for me?
Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm gonna play it for you guys.
Okay.
1 second. Let me get all my things going here.
Ready? I'm not bad, bitch. I'm pretty damn motherfucker. House be looking okay. Yeah, she fucking with me. Is this bitch okay? He say he ain't fucking around. Look at him like okay. I used to be down bad, but now I'm a bitch okay. I'm pretty damn motherfucker. House be looking okay. She see that she fucking with me. Is this bitch okay? He say he ain't fucking around. Look at him like okay. I used to be down bad, but now I'm a bitch okay.
I have to say, I am so excited. I don't even like JT like that. but I'm so excited.
Why are you so excited for this? What is this particular? What does
What
it
do
have
you mean?
for you?
What does it have? It has a great beat. It has a great mantra. I'm pretty as a
How are you
motherfucker.
looking?
How
Okay.
okay. She think that she fucking with me?
Is this bitch okay?
Is this bitch okay? Are you kidding me? This song eats. Like, it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay?
No, I think it's
It's
actually
perfect.
really good. And also too,
Okay.
out of City Girls, obviously JT was the strongest rapper. No shade to Young Miami, but yeah, but like I don't go up for JT like that because she's not always my cup of tea. But when it comes to rapping, JT can hold her own, and I do appreciate her.
That's true.
Yeah,
Always has. That's for sure.
Yeah.
but
Oh, I just wanted to show that to you
I
guys.
did
That's
see
me the
someone got
song of the
into it with her
summer.
on Twitter or
Um,
Instagram
I
because they were like, "Well, girl, don't be releasing a song if it ain't ready.
JT's
Don't
always
release a
getting
clip
into it
of a song or a
sometimes.
snippet of a song if it ain't ready." And she was like, "Ah, hoes always negative, blah, blah, blah," you know. And but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do agree. Like, don't be giving me something and getting me all hype when I still gotta wait I gotta wait 2 months for you to get stuff cleared, and before it gets put out. So
that's true. 'Cause that's what happened with
yeah.
Twerkulator, and that was so
So I
upsetting.
do hope she releases the
We had
whole song
Twerkulator for
soon.
months. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Well, thank you, girlies. Thank you, listeners. As always, please rate, review, subscribe. You know, if you and your friends are the City Girls, send this pod to the JT of your friend group. Maybe they'll be able to read a really eloquent, fun review with 5 stars. So we're looking forward to the Miami GP. We'll see what all the fits are. We'll see what the vibes are. Maybe we'll even get a driver intro session. So feel free to tune in, and we will see you all next week. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. All right. So, but we will see you next week for something that we have not yet determined.
Ooh,
TBD. All right.
Bye.
Bye, listeners.
Peace.